he was having trouble seeing, obviously take a little trauma to the eye. It takes a little bit of time to sort of get your clear vision back. But other than that, no update.
When you went out, you guys were down 3, and kind of later in that third quarter, there were a couple big defensive rebounds from LeBron, and just as an example of the things he did, it seemed like kind of step up. What did you see from him and the rest of the team to find a way after that?
LeBron took control of the game, and not just with scoring the basketball, defensively, with his rebounding, his playmaking. Really, you're in that situation, and AD goes out, and it requires more from everyone else. And Jackson stepped up to that moment, played both ends of the court, and gave us a few extra possessions. Just his energy, I thought, really uplifted the group. But, the bench itself tonight, you think about, we were flat in the first half. D'Lo gave us a lift. We executed another 3 for 2 at the end of the first half to sort of get some momentum, and then Gabe, Dalton, Jackson off the bench in the second half were great.
Yeah. JJ, in this setting over the past 20 years, it's been a pretty common question to LeBron opposing coaches, like, what's the harder version of him to stop, the scorer or the distributor? Now that you're coaching him, did you have an opinion of that as a player, and now that you're coaching him, do you have a preference?
His score.
It's JJ, I know we've talked a little bit about causation versus correlation and whatnot, but with Austin, we've seen this sort of explosion offensively the last couple of games with Cam in the starting lineup and him taking those primary perimeter assignments. What have you seen from him these last couple of games with the new starting lineup, and what has that allowed him to do offensively?
Well, first of all, his level of compete on the defensive end has been better for both these games. And it's not like he's taking the night off. He's still got to guard the other team's second best perimeter guy. And I just think it starts with that. It's his mindset. It is to compete. It's something that I thought, I think he talked about it with you guys after Friday's game. It's something we talked about. It's just like there was a few stretches of games on that road trip where it just wasn't there. That as a coach, that's surprising, because it's something that I sort of trust night to night with our group, is that Austin's going to go out there and he's going to compete. The first half tonight was just a weird sort of game. We couldn't really get into our offense. A lot of that was Davion Mitchell. Just, we at times we were having to bring the ball up with AD. And so we really were kind of stagnant and didn't have a lot of thrusts in the half court. And that affected, I think, Austin on the offensive end. And then he had 2 stretches there in the second half, one to start and then one sort of to finish, that flurry to finish, where we were getting the matchups we wanted. The ball was moving. Obviously, LeBron was drawing a lot of bodies, and AR was able to take advantage of that.
JJ, kind of to what you just spoke on, with AD had to bring the ball up during certain stretches. I think it was in the second, just to alleviate the ball handling. How helpful are those reps, just in terms of, when opposing teams are pressuring the way they were, for you guys to be able to switch up the offense a little bit in that way, but still go through the.
Yeah, I mean, we have stuff we can do out of that, and we made the adjustment towards the end of the second quarter. We were better, but what that does, and it's one of the reasons we want Cam to pick up full court and Gabe to pick up full court and Max Christie to pick up full court, is it takes away seconds from the shot clock. And what that did in the first half for us is it disorganized us to start, and then we constantly it felt like we were playing late in the shot clock, and that's not necessarily how we want to play consistently. But I thought we were able to get into some stuff that gave us good offense with him coming in that trail position.
Hey JJ, now that you have a 10-game sample size, what would you say your comfort level is with the team's progress so far?
excited about our defense the last two games. Excited about our defense the last two games. The thing that I would say with our group that is very promising, and it hasn't been 100%, and I don't think there's a team in the NBA that it's 100%, but the thing that's promising is that whether it's been a day in between games and it's a film session, a practice where we need to work on some things and clean some things up, a halftime adjustment, a carryover from shoot around, things we emphasize, they're really, really responsive. I think there's a trust that is building with each other as players, and the trust that's building between the players and the staff. Holistically, in terms of our offense, our defense, look, there's a long way to go with all that stuff. That, to me, is more exciting, I think.
JJ, defense is exciting for you. Transition defense is also the thing that LeBron told Mike Trudell that he wants to see this team work on over this next couple of games against teams that are struggling, against teams that have injured players. What are you looking to see there, particularly because it looked like you guys really improved in that in the second half?
Yep, again, that was something Friday. That was all we talked about pregame in our meeting. That was all our film session was. Our guys responded. I believe it was our second best transition defense game of the year, and overall we were better tonight. It was something we talked about at halftime with the guys. I think it was three transition points in the second half. They killed us on the glass in the first half. We talked about gang rebounding, 3 offensive rebounds in the second half. We talked about, protecting our paint. I think they had 12 paint points in the second half. Again, like they're responsive to the things we want, and I believe this in my heart. NBA players want to be coached, and our group wants to be coached, and they're coachable, and that for us is big picture, player, staff, one team type thing. That is what I'm talking about with that trust building.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.